Hi besties. Alright, so I don't really consider myself a person who has a lot of great stories, but I think I have a decent one this time around, so you might want to stick around. Just about boundaries and people taking you for granted, not knowing that you can come out of your shell sometimes. So this is basically the craziest experience I had in 2023. It's almost over. The year is almost over. Right, so background. I'm the sort of person that you are not really going to look at and think I may walk over. So in the workplace or in general. So I'm not necessarily a walkover, but at work, definitely I tend to keep to myself. I always have my music going on or my podcast or whatever. Don't really socialize. There's nothing wrong with this. I just really like not being bothered at work, just doing my own thing. And I never really show interest in a lot of things. I don't really have a lot of opinions. If I do, I do, but generally you'd think, oh, you wouldn't know what's going to come. Maybe she's quiet, I guess, or she doesn't have a backbone because you've never seen me having to need one. It's easy to take me for granted in some cases. Right, so another backstory. So at work, after the whole lockdown, this year we had lockdowns, we had to get tested every day. So when we opened after the summer holidays, we had to get tested every day since September until recently when we had to start working online again. Right, so the testing was done by the whole school, right? So in one area. So we did not have to do it in our grades. Just the whole school went to this one spot. Then everyone was tested there. And then when it started getting chilly, they then came up with another plan that we would test per class. The admin people would come and collect the results or whatever they did, but we stopped testing together collectively, and then we did it in classes, right? All right. So who was working in the classrooms? The class teachers and assistants. So a class teacher usually will have an assistant, and then they would just test the students. 3 people per class, I think. I didn't have to do it. I just had to go get tested in one of the classes, grade 7 classes. So one of the teachers who was helping in the class that I was testing in, let me give you a background on her, just a little bit of information. I knew her since last year because she was a new teacher in grade 6 last year, so 2021, and this year, a little bit of this year. So I knew her. That was the first time no, it wasn't the first time. She was an intern the previous year in 2020 and a part of 2021, and we never really spoke. But then in 2021, when she started teaching grade 6, we shared. So it's 4 people per group, I guess. Our office sitting arrangement is like 4 people per group. So a person that sits next to me, and then they face us, and then we face them. So it's 4 people. And she sat the other side from me last year, and we just talk sometimes. We talk. So what I used to notice, like in the beginning, was that she was very curt. She was very moody. She was very, she was a little bit mean. So I tried to stay away from her, but she was like that with everyone. So I just understood that to be her personality. I never really took it personal. During the beginning, I was like, what is going on? And I quickly learned that she's just that type of person. So he was like, oh, okay, you're this type of person. I'm just going to stay away from you. If you want to talk, we'll talk. If you don't want to talk, we're not going to talk. I sometimes don't want to talk, but I'm not rude about it. But yeah. Anyway, if she doesn't want to talk, she doesn't want to talk. So she was the type of person that she really just want to stay away from because she had a lot of things going on with her. She was also sick often and stuff. So I guess maybe her moods came from that as well. So last year, I had to move to a different office from the grade 6 office to the grade 7 office because of space. So I got a break from her. And then this year, I had to sit with her again. Right. So she's this person, right? You understand the type of person that she is. We hadn't even spoken this year that much. She was just like, hi. We're all busy, really. In China, it's different. Anyway, so this one time, I'm supposed, the very first beginning, the first week of testing in classes, because we're accustomed to testing as a school, remember? Right now, so we're testing as classes. So the one time I was running late about, it's not even 5 minutes late, but bottom line, I was running late because we were supposed to test from 8 to, I guess, before anything before 10 past 8, because the first class is at 10 past 8. So there wasn't much time to get tested. I don't know why the school made it that way, but our school is just crazy as well. It's the learners have their first class, pre-class at 7:30, and then the teachers are just under a lot of pressure is what I'm trying to say. The Chinese teachers, not me. All right, so I'm late, I'm running late. I don't check my phone when I'm in the car, the taxi, or just in the morning. I don't really like checking my phone, but also I have my notifications off. I usually read in the car. So when Selena, the class teacher, was trying to reach me to check where I'm at so that she would see if they should wait for me, she didn't reach me. But in my mind, when I realized that I was late, I was just like, oh, it's okay, I'll just, sometimes I didn't test it in the school even when we tested collectively, so I was like, I'll go test somewhere else, because you could go to the mall or there's lots of testing spaces. So for me, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal at all. So yeah, I'm just chill. I'm like trying to rush when I get to the gate. And also there's this, parents are so annoying when they're dropping off kids and stuff. So there's traffic by the gates and whatever. So I'm just like, it's not, what I know, it was not even 8:05. They just finished a little bit earlier because the day before I'd been there and they were running late and whatnot. So nobody knew how the whole thing was going to work. Basically, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, I'm just telling the truth. So I get to the office, I'm trying to put my bag down because I'm not sure if they finished. So I'm putting my bag down, I'm trying to go there, and then she walks in and she is like, where were you? We waited for you. Why do we have to wait for you? You're not even picking up your phone. I'm like, I know there's people in the office, the students. She's talking to me like that. In my head, I'm like, I know this B is not talking to me. I just know it because nobody talks to me that way. So, and then she goes on and I'm like, who are you talking to? Because I'm confused. Are you talking to me? And she's like, yeah, I'm talking to you. Why do we have to wait for you? I'm like, first of all, you're not anything to me. You're just a colleague. If you want to talk to me, you know my mom. Even I hate when my mom shouts at me as well. So at this point, I'm aggravated because I'm like, nobody. If you know one thing about me, no one shouts at me. I don't want people shouting at me. I don't shout at people. I don't want people shouting at me. It triggers me so much. So the moment she shouted at me, I just went crazy in my head. I even forgot that I was at work. I'm like, you're not anything to me. You want to talk to me, you talk like an adult. Right now you're throwing a fit, a tantrum, and I don't talk to people like you. You are so rude. I've been waiting to tell you this the whole time. You are really just disgusting. You don't talk to people like this in the workplace. So I go off on her and she's like, oh, what do you mean? I'm not rude and stuff. I'm like, you are so rude. It's disgusting. You need to fix how you speak to people. You've been doing this for the whole time. So I take records and I'm like, you do this the whole time. You speak to people rudely and stuff. So I'm like, you're never ever allowed to speak to me unless it's about work or unless you realize that you need to work on how you communicate with people. You're so rude. So I kept repeating that part and I'm like, you're just not allowed to talk to me ever again. So she goes to the classroom. I was fuming because I even wanted to throw hands. I remember, I don't know where my head was at the time, but I remember that I was not myself. That's why I don't like being angry. So I'm like, I'm even ready to throw hands because who are you talking to like that? So the other teachers in the office, so everyone goes and stuff and the office is empty. I think it was a Tuesday. Usually the office is empty on Tuesday mornings. And so I actually cried, not because she talked to me I think because she talked to me that way, but because she shouted as well. So that triggered me. And because I was too angry, I cry sometimes when I'm too angry. So I cried, and then I was like, do I just let it go, or do I do something about this? So basically I just talked to the office manager, and I'm like, this is not going to happen ever again. Nobody talks to me like this. If somebody has a problem, it should be done in the right channels and stuff, because this is not going to work for me. So she was confused because she didn't know much about what was going on, and then she called me after her class and she's like, what happened and stuff. And I was like, this and this and this and this happened, and this person is not allowed to talk to me. And for the record, nobody in the office is allowed to talk to me about anything anyway. If something, as colleagues here, we can discuss, but you're not allowed to discipline me because you're nobody to me. You did not hire me. If something is wrong, the principal or the English head, she can talk to me. And even if she wants to talk to me, she has to come correct, because I'm not doing this rude thing where people think they're superior. And so the office manager is like, oh, she's just under a lot of pressure because she's trying to make sense of her. And I'm like, I'm not interested in what she's got going on. I don't care if she's got a million classes. I don't care if she's under a lot of pressure with parents. Just don't talk to me like that. I have a lot of problems, and I genuinely did have problems. The problems such as under a lot of pressure with school and stuff. I don't talk about those things at work. I'm like, whatever problems you have, you can't take them out on me. What did I do to you? I don't know you. You don't know me like that. We're just colleagues. So you don't talk to me like that. Whatever problems you have, that's your problem. I can sympathize with you. If you just like, yo, I'm under a lot of pressure and you want to vent, sure, I'm here. But if you want to be rude and let that be the excuse, nope, no ways. So she's like, no, I don't think she's rude. She's just like that with everyone. I'm like, it doesn't make it right. She's like this with everyone, but it's still rude. And somebody needs to talk. Yeah, so that was the end of it. She apologized for her. I thought she was maybe going to call us together and let us together talk, but she never did. It's expected as well. I didn't expect much as well from this place, just this culture. It's expected that they're going to put it under the carpet because everything needs to seem perfect, appear perfect. Yeah, anyway, and then when we started, I didn't talk to her for like a month, not because I was angry. I talked about it in therapy and I was good. I just never even looked at her. So when I'm angry or when I'm just over you, I'm not even going to look at you. Like, I'm not going to look your way. You are basically dead to me, not maliciously. It's just whatever it is. And then she started talking to me. She's never been rude or curt ever since. She's been so nice the whole time. She just never said she was sorry. I just heard her starting talking to me. I was like, whoa, is that her talking? Because I was talking to the other colleague. Sometimes I'd talk to the one sitting next to me. And then she'd chime in. I'd be like, oh, okay, we're talking again, I guess. You never said you were sorry. But okay. Yeah. I'm not saying that I was right for being late, but I was just saying that the moral of the story is boundaries and how you talk to people, and just controlling yourself, even if you're angry in the workplace or outside the workplace. You can't just talk to people anyhow because you are angry. And sometimes we have to deal with people that are known to be a certain way, even if it hurts other people or it makes other people uncomfortable. But because this person is this way, then we have to just be nice and let them be. Hell to the no here. Boundaries, be respectful. Don't be shouting at adults. What the hell? Who are you talking to like that? Like, I was so shook. I was so angry. I haven't been that angry in a very long time, and I don't want to be that angry in a long, long time again. Bye, besties.